Say what needs to be said. It's your host, your boy, Sante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel. Over 50 interceptions. Future Hall of Famer. They keep playing with my name, but you know we in the building, man. Let's have some fun tonight, man. We got a lot of things to unpack and talk about. We're gonna see how far we're gonna get tonight, man. If y'all don't follow me on social media, y'all find me, man. Pick six underscore, pick underscore six, Mr. Pick Six, all those good things. But yeah, man, it's a war going on between the T-step and just breaking on the ball right now on Twitter between myself and some other DBs, fellow DBs, who wanted to join into the debate. And Coach Prime stepped in, and he joined the debate as well. And we're going to get into that because he went on NFL Network and blatantly, basically said the T-step is anybody doing the T-step is an idiot. I feel like shots was being fired. Pew, 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 with a little 22 pistol, you know what I mean? Because, if you don't know, I'm the T-step king. I don't think anybody promoted the T-step like myself once we all came into the NFL. I had a good teacher, so on and so forth. But we definitely going to talk about it and get into it. But other than that, man, it's Coach Prime. He's doing his thing. He's breaking barriers, as the coach for the Colorado Buffaloes. And now, you know what I mean? And now Coach Prime wants to change the landscape of spring football, you know what I mean? Even though this scenario hasn't come to fruition just yet, you know what I mean? Coach Prime is suggesting that the Colorado Buffaloes play a spring game differently than in the past. Although many teams, as you can see on the screen, you know what I mean? It says many college football teams are doing away with spring football games, but Deion Sanders wants to go in other directions, put other opponents on the field. And that's what Coach Prime is doing. How much would fans love to see college football play spring games against other opponents and not each other? You know what I mean? I don't know why no one ever thought of this idea in the past before. I'm sure, it has been brought up, but now the needle is being pushed to get these extra games against opponents. More like preseason games. If you look at it, you know what I mean? In the NFL, if y'all understand, and I know Coach Prime is speaking from an NFL standpoint of view, we get to practice against other teams. We may go, I remember the Philadelphia Eagles, we practiced against the Cincinnati Bengals. They came in town for 3-4 days. We did one-on-ones and all those things. You understand what I'm saying? But Coach Prime, if y'all haven't seen, he used this platform to express his interests or his desires to compete against another team for their spring game coming up on ESPN. And of course, when Coach Prime speaks, a lot of people answer, a lot of people listen, and you have some people, some teams, some head coaches, coach from Syracuse that are willing to step up and, get that work, basically. Spring football. Let me tell y'all about spring football, right? Spring football. Spring football is how a 2-star athlete, a 3-star athlete, 3-star player is when they get a chance to go make a name for themselves, right? If there were star rankings, I'm going to tell y'all a little story about myself, right? And about spring football and how spring football helped me and how this new platform or this new system could help a lot of players. Of course, some people are going to be exposed and, maybe not be as good of a 5-star that they thought they were, and the 2-star and the 3-star started to make a name for themselves. So back in my day, I would probably have been a 2-star ranking, and that's why I had to sign with UCF at the time. And that was a clear example of my recruiting status, right? Now we know that things are totally different at UCF. You know what I mean? You're a 5-star, you got to be 4-star to get there. Now, big UCF. UCF doing big things, you know what I mean? But spring football, right? Spring football. Spring football, like I said, is when players can try to win a spot, try different things on the field, play around with coverage techniques. And most importantly, this is when the coaches decide who are going to be the starters on the field, coming into training camp or when the season starts. Now, going into my sophomore year, But I was still a freshman going into my sophomore year. That spring, I was still a freshman, spring practice at UCF. Coach Gene Chizik, who was the defensive coordinator. If y'all don't know who Gene Chizik is, he's the head coach. He was the head coach at Auburn when they had Cam Newton and won the national title in like one season, right? Coach Gene Chizik, he used to use a production chart to determine who will be the starters on basically defense, whether it was defensive line, safety, linebackers, so on and so forth. You had to put up production. You had to be the top 1, 2, 3 people on the production chart to earn yourself a starting position. And the best man may win. And how else could you want it? That's the best thing you could ask for. That's the best possible scenario, right? If you're a competitor, you're a dog at heart, right? And it was my second season. It was his second season as a defensive coordinator. So everything was new to him and all the players and the atmosphere and all those things. It was a step up for him. Actually, I think he came from Stephen P. Austin or something like that. So it was a step up for him. And everybody's trying to make a name for him. And the projected starters, right, coming into spring ball, it was in front of me was my boy Devin Bush. He had a brother that played in the NFL, played safety for the Rams a long time. His name is Devin Bush and Davin Bush. You know what I mean? But Devin was a fifth-year senior at the time. You know what I mean? He was a fifth-year senior at the time. And it was him and Travis Fisher who ended up being, Devin Bush was his fifth-year senior at the time, right? I'm supposed to show y'all a picture, but I forgot to bring the picture up. You know what I mean? But it was him and Travis Fisher. They were both projected starters, and Travis Fisher, who ended up being a second round pick at the time. You know what I mean? That was a lot of motivation for us. Not too many people was getting drafted out of UCF back then. So Travis Fisher, big salute. He kind of helped pave the way for the DBs along with Paul Miranda and some other UCF DBs. UCF, baby. But Fish, man, you know what I mean? That's what we call him, Travis Fisher. We call him Fish, you know what I mean? Fish was a JUCO All-American with blazing speed. You hear me? Fish was a JUCO All-American with blazing speed, right? And we came to UCF, we came to that school in the same year, but it was his sophomore year when I was still a freshman. Coach had him locked in already as a starter. Fish, if everybody knew Fish was the man, Fish was the starter. But I never felt like nobody was the man. Just, I don't care, I feel like whatever situation I come into, I can compete with whoever. I don't care how everybody view them. I think I can come compete with them. So that was my point of view of everything. But in Coach's eyes, he was the best thing he had ever seen at that time. But Coach really was obsessed with Travis Fisher's speed, man. He was a 4.2 guy, was a track guy. I mean, he had one of the most classic films of running the kid down from 100 yards, different angles, and so on and so forth. But he had that speed out of his world. So me and Devin Bush had to battle out for starting spots, opposite of Travis Fisher. Big dog Travis Fisher at the time, you know what I mean? But this is when I realized, my sophomore season, this is when I started to realize I can really, really play. I could really play football, you know what I mean? I really could play cornerback, you know what I mean? Because I was a quarterback my whole season. I led the team on the production charts and passes, interceptions, passes defended, pretty much all the major categories. But I had one problem, and I couldn't run to the football. The pursuit drills, when the ball is away from you, you got to run to the ball. I would always get in trouble and, get cussed out for that because I couldn't really run to the ball. You know what I mean? What it do, LJ? What it do, beauty ass? I see you, hot dog. We in the building. You know what I mean? So I blame that on, I couldn't run to the ball. So I blame that on me not being a track runner, not being involved in track in high school. So, you know what I mean? That's another story, you know what I mean? So everybody had that track endurance. They was getting to the ball where I was struggling, you know what I mean? And that's, how it ended up being. So I would always get negative points on the production chart or take points away because I would have a lack of effort damn near every practice. That was just Sante Samuel trying to freaking, run to the ball. That wasn't my thing. I was a quarterback, you know what I mean? But I would make a ton of plays. So I would, always lead the production charts, but then, I'm always getting, yelled at and fussed at about freaking not running to the ball. But I was trying my hardest. I damn sure was giving my effort, you know what I mean? And I promise you I was trying. Yeah, I promise you I was trying. Man, coach wanted to see everybody turn to the ball and basically give a burst and give that burst, and then you got to run and touch the person with the ball. No matter where that person is with that football, if he scored a touchdown, you're practicing going running all the way and grabbing and touching. So you had to run and go touch the guy. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I won the battle in the spring practice. You know what I mean? And then we get in the training camp, and I still won the battle, right? You know, and he was hot about that because this was his final year in college football to be able to show his case to try to make it to the next level. Meanwhile, I'm just a young pup, having fun, not too much pressure on myself. I'm going out there having fun doing my thing. So the first game came, and it wasn't my best game. Let's just say that. So it gave coach the right to bench me and, make up all type of excuses, whatever. So he put basically Bush earned his starting spot back, but at the same time, that's when we started rotating. So we would rotate series because coach still felt like I should be starting. So that's kind of a nutshell and everything, how things went in training and spring football. So those are the battles that you can have and possibly win. You know what I mean? And then when we was during the season, we're fighting for reps. He'll run on the field, I run on the field, and we'll both be on the field at the same time. And everybody looking at us crazy because Fish already on the field. So coach looking at us like, our players and our teammates looking at us like, what are y'all doing? Y'all fools? Like somebody got. I'm like, coach told me to be in. You need to get out. He telling me coach told him to be in. But, it was all competitive spirit, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Your boy had to show up, And like I said, he had a shot at NFL. He was fast too, man. He was one of those 4.2 fast guys, you know what I mean? And now with the spring game and things like that, everybody can't start. Everybody can't play. We understand that. We know that. Everybody can't start. Everybody can't play. So playing against a different opponent, besides playing against your teammates, man, that would benefit so many people. It would benefit the institution. It would benefit the players. It would benefit the coaches. And then you got the transfer portal these days. You know what I mean? How many opportunities will there be for players like on a Florida State or Florida team who's second, third string, and then they get an opportunity to another game or another opportunity to showcase their talent in front of other coaches and things like that. So I can see this, man, being a very serious nuance that comes up in that they implement in the college football. I really see this happening, man. I don't know what took so long. Revenue for the athletic department and everything. You understand what I'm saying? But let's get to what we came here for. And we're going to talk about this real quick. And we're going to get to the juiciness. And we're going to...
Real quick, please.
Hold on. Before we talk about this, right? We're going to back this up, right? Now, if y'all don't know, I'm on Twitter. I talk my junk and I do my thing, you know what I mean? One thing I don't like is for people to get offended when I'm talking my shit. It's all competitive spirit over here. It's all me just being the competitor, And that's all I come from. I don't care, how great people say this person was, how great they say that person was. Yeah, I need to see that. Just because they say it, I don't believe what people say. I need to see how great that person was. Yeah, you can show. I want to see everything. I want to see the history. I want to see the games. You say somebody played man-to-man. You say they didn't throw his way. Show me. Stop telling me. Because everything I tell you about me, I'm going to show you. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how it shouldn't be. And I know perception is reality for most people and a lot of people, but and I hear people say, yeah, man, he did it in a flashier way, so you know, he gets the more of the credit and things like that. Yeah, we love the flashiness. We love to be entertained and things like that. But at the end of the day, we got to ride with the facts, brother. When you come to say what needs to be said, I'm teaching you about facts. Now, if we all know, shout out to Bang in the building, Melrose in the building for sure, Melrose. We got to, hey, when you hear this, man, you got to understand. First of all, I'm the T-step king. I don't think nobody promoted the T-step like myself. Now, when he speak about the T-step the way he does, you got to understand, he's speaking to someone. He's coming at somebody with some aggression, with a little disrespect, in my opinion. You understand what I'm saying? But let's check Coach Prime out right now, talking about basically disrespecting the T-step because it's not something he learned. It's crazy. That's crazy. Check him out.
Let me teach you real quick how stupid the T-step is. I'm going to teach you real quick. Now, Bucky,
let me tell you real quick how stupid the T-step is. I ain't going to keep pausing it. We're going to get through it. But it's going to get even more foolish. The words he used, foolish, idiotic, all the words he used, this is how he sounds. Now, we all love and respect Coach Prime, but you know me, I'm going to say what needs to be said.
Quick, how stupid the T-step is.
Please watch this.
I'm going to teach you real quick. Now, Bucky, you're going to help me.
Oh,
okay. We're going to walk backwards, then we're going to walk forward. Let's walk backwards.
Okay, we're walking backwards.
Now, let's stop and walk forward. Why didn't you T-step?
I mean,
Why didn't you T-step? Okay, let me show you how stupid that is. Look, I'm going to walk backwards.
Yep.
Then I'm going to walk forward.
Whoa.
Who does that? What fool does that? What idiot does that?
Hey, if I was
that's what I miss about the combine.
man, I would do it like the
combine.
That's right. That's right. Do it like the best does it.
If one of my players do that, I'm ripping his face mask off. He's spending the rest of the game without a face mask.
Wow. I mean, if that don't sound like somebody throwing some shots or throwing a dark in the sky in the dark at somebody, man, what does? Because that sounds crazy, but have we been T-step? How long has Coach Prime been out of NFL? It's 1989 or 1995 or something. Man, everybody been T-stepping. Yes, you got to open up your hips to T-step. That's why I came out with the art of interception. Whether people subscribe to it and join the course or not, the art of interception, it teaches you all of these things. You have to open up your hip to plant and get to the ball. You understand what I'm saying? And for him to say, and to make this example right here.
Let me teach you real quick how stupid the T-step is.
Of him walking back and forth.
Then I'm going to walk forward.
Whoa.
Bro, this is so crazy.
Okay, let me show you how stupid that is.
He's walking back.
I'm going to walk backwards.
Momentum.
Then I'm going to walk forward.
Whoa.
Who does that?
Bro, he's walking back and acting like that's how you plant when you're walking. When you're running backwards with all your momentum, you have to stop your momentum in an instance. And you have to get leverage in your foot to put your foot in the ground and get back to the ball. Yeah, there's other ways you get to the ball, but the quickest, most fast way to get to the ball is a T-step. And you have to open your hips and put the big part of your foot in the ground to T-step. And man, people going crazy on Twitter, but hey, I'm all for a debate. The whole thing started with, show me a tape, a play of Coach Prime breaking on the ball, the way he breaks on the ball, and I'll show you the T-step kills his break all day long. Coach Prime is Coach Prime, but that don't mean he could break on the ball better than me. You understand what I'm saying? And if he does, let's just watch the tape and we can settle this for once and for all. You know, Coach Prime tweeted back, talking his junk and acting like there's some other problems. Man, if everybody, you know me. I talk my shit. I have my fun. I don't mean no harm. If you're a sensitive person, you feel like you the top dog and nobody can come for you. Yeah, you're going to feel like that because it don't matter to me. If I feel the way and I feel like I got a point and it's something I want to know about, I'm going to say it. Ain't nobody going to stop me. Who going to stop me? You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the way he promoting and going off about this this T-step because he was such a great athlete and he didn't have to use his T-stepping skills or like he say, Mickey Andrews didn't teach him how to T-step. You know, that was probably, you know, before their time or after their time, rather. You know what I mean? So, you know, always shout out to Deion. I don't mind having a debate. He don't want to have a debate. I asked him, you know, let's go back and forth. And he sent one tweet and that was it, baby. So, yeah, man. Coach Prime, man. Shout out to Coach Prime. That's the T-step. I'll let y'all know if we have some further debates with the T-step. But we got this right here. We got the $100 million man. Or how much is this contract really worth? But right now, till the full details come out, we understand that it's $30 million a year per year. But how it's going to get to $30 million a year? Because somehow, in some way, well, not somehow, some way. This is a 5-year extension, but somehow, some way, it will kind of get cut down. And we're going to get into the details. But as of right now, man, we see Derek Stingley Jr., man, is shattering and has shattered the cornerback market. And y'all, I want to know, y'all let me know, do y'all think it's worth it? At $30 million per year, right? $30 million per year for Derek Stingley. That puts him $5 million per more ahead of pretty much all the top corners, $5-6 million more of all the top corners in the NFL. And J.C. Horn, who is the second highest paid cornerback, just recently signed, right? Now the Texans are basically saying, if the Panthers say J.C. Horn is worth $25 million per year, our guy Derek Stingley Jr. is much, much better than your number one guy. So we must give him $5 million more per year than what you gave your guy. Our guy is that much better. And that says a lot, because when you sign a contract 6 months after someone else signed, that should be damn near identical when y'all play the same position. But when it's that much of a difference, that says a lot, you know? Now, this contract doesn't have anything to do with Patrick Surtain, new contract, because Patrick Surtain new deal was signed a while ago, I think, if not last year or, you know, during the season or something like that, you know what I mean? But however, Patrick Surtain is now the 4th highest paid cornerback in the NFL. And he just was the defensive player of the year. No matter what you say, how you want to draw it up, it's never going to sound right. You know what I mean? And some people had to talk about it, right? The Houston Texans are giving Derek Stingley a 3-year, $90 million deal, averaging $30 million per season, a full $6 million more per year than PS2's contract. Stingley also received $89 million guaranteed, $11.5 million more than Surtain. With the NFL salary cap continuing to rise and others cornerbacks get new deals, PS2 contract will become more and more of a bargain with each passing year. It might eventually reach a point where Denver has to sweeten the deal, but I can't see all this. Sweeten the deal, but have next seasons. But they'll have Patrick Surtain for a bargain in the next couple of seasons, right? Then it said, give credit to Denver Broncos general manager, George Paton. Paton gave this contract extension to 4 of the team's key players last season, notably including cornerback Patrick Surtain. After signing a 4-year, $96 million extension, PS2 went on to win the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award, right? In 2024. Surtain's extension set a record for the biggest defensive back contract in the NFL history, averaging $24 million per season with $77 million guaranteed. It was a mega deal when he signed it last September, but just 6 months later, it's already looking like a bargain. You know what I mean? Right. And yeah, most definitely, it's looking like a bargain when he's the 4th highest paid and he just won defensive coordinator. But that's neither here or there. I think it just so happened, you know, the timing of player signing and the timing of what team how much a team loves their player. And obviously, Derek Stingley Jr. is a hell of a player. But I want to know, do y'all let me know, do y'all think Derek Stingley Jr. was worth $30 million a year? Talk to me in the chat. Let me know, should PS2 be matching that $30 million a year? Who is better? Who is the better cornerback out of Patrick Surtain II and Derek Stingley Jr.? Don't talk to me about accolades and stuff like that. Y'all know I'm a Florida boy, so you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, man, I like good competition, and these two boys can play ball. But I do believe one player gets the ball more than the other, you know what I mean? And yeah, I have to I edge it out to Stingley. I can't lie. I think Stingley has Patrick Surtain in the instincts category, while Patrick Surtain has him beat in the man-to-man category. But, you know, when you're comparing two athletes like this and two players of this caliber, with these two players, it's a very thin line or a very thin margin of error of who is better than who. But, you know, right now, Derek Stingley Jr. is on a run. His first season, I think he had 1 interception. His second season, he had 5 interceptions, if I remember correctly. And then again, he had 5 interceptions this season. Last year, he missed a ton of games, and this year he missed a few games. But yeah, man, Derek Stingley Jr. is going to be one of those cornerbacks that probably that intercept 50 interceptions in this new game, this new 18-game era. You know what I mean? While your boy Mr. Pick Six was the last to do it in the 16-game era. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So, yeah, Derek Stingley Jr. and the Texans versus Patrick Surtain Jr. Who's up next, man? We got Quinyon Wilson or Quinyon Rambo. What we call him? Quinyon Rambo from the Philadelphia Eagles, baby. They saying they got to put aside $70 million a year for Quinyon Rambo, man. You know what I mean? But let me finish off with Derek Stingley, right? Checking out the comments. Derek Stingley, right? And you mark my words because I know talent when I see it. And Derek Stingley Jr., he is one of those cornerbacks that will have 8 to 10 or multiple 8 to 10 season interceptions. You know what I mean? He is that type of player that is a game-changing player. And when you get many picks like that, you're usually competing for the NFL leader of interceptions. And free safeties usually compete for that job. So if you have a lot of interceptions or 8 to 10 interceptions, you probably compete with a free safety for that job, you know, for that position as the lead leader, you know what I mean? But like I said, Derek Stingley will probably be the first cornerback to achieve a 50-game interception in this new 18-game era season. And y'all don't understand the impact that interceptions have during the game. You know, a turnover, an interception, one play, you know, just taking the ball, it tears the momentum. It gives everybody confidence, the unexpected, you know what I mean? And we gotta give more credit to these interceptions than we've been doing. But yeah, man, y'all got something for me in the chat. Y'all let me know what we want to talk about. But if y'all just coming into the show, we're going crazy on Twitter right now, and I got to let y'all see what's going on right here.
What fool does that? What idiot does that?
And we're going to replay this for
you real quick,
please.
How stupid the T-step is. I'm going to teach you real quick. Now, Bucky, you're going to help me.
Listen, the T-step. I'm the T-step king. I promote the T-step. I know there's no faster way to get to the football than the T-step. If you know a DB, your friends, family, so on and so forth, play DB, cornerback, and stuff like that, I tell him don't listen to this foolishness because he's not even telling you no other way to get to the football. He just want to down talk something he don't believe in or something he doesn't know how to do. You understand? Listen closely. Don't be deceived by people because whatever, they're big, they're famous and things like that. You know what I mean? Learn how to read between the lines.
Okay. We're going to walk backwards, then we're going to walk forward. Let's walk backwards.
Okay, we're walking backwards.
Now let's stop and walk forward. Why didn't you T-step? Why didn't you T-step? Okay, let me show you how.
Who the hell T-steps from walking backwards to walking forward? What is so important about the change of direction in that moment? Why do you need to come forward fast as possible if you're walking backwards? You making no sense, Dion, coach brother. You know what I mean? Now your momentum is taking you backwards when you have to backpedal at way faster than a walking pace. Now you have to build the leverage to stop your momentum, put your foot in the ground, and go forward to the football. If you can't stop it immediately, then you have to chop your feet to stop it. Or you don't have a precise and great break. But let's finish. Let them finish. Let's hear this. I never thought Coach Prime.
Stupid that is. Look, I'm going to walk backwards.
Yep.
Then I'm going to walk forward. Who does that? What fool does that? What idiot does?
What fool does that? What idiot does that? Who this man think he's talking to? These are young men out here playing football. And you talking about what fool, what idiot does this? What fool, what idiot do you think you are, brother? Because you're talking to a lot of people. If you don't think you know or understand, you're talking to a lot of people that does that. And just because you can't teach them that or you don't know how to teach that, you want to talk down on that? Man, you sound like a hating ass fool, brother, for that. For real. Straight up from coming from Mr. Pick Six. And y'all know I don't care. You know what I mean? It is what it is. If I believe it, I'm going to say it. He's straight up like a hater talking about the T-step and going off like that. I'm telling you, this clip right here sound like straight hater, bro. Because won't he swallow his pride and go to someone that can teach him how to T-step, and he can learn the fundamentals of T-stepping. You understand what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. It's about to continue to learn in life, to continue to reinvent yourself. Now, Coach Prime is good at reinventing himself, but that don't mean you know it all. That don't mean you know it all, brother. We can go watch your tape. Yeah, you was in zone coverage. Yeah, you was doing this and that and that. All the things they said is cool. But when you watch your tape, you can get a real idea. You know what I mean? But this Mr. Pick Six, man. Yeah, listen to what I'm trying to tell y'all. There is no other method. You know, I'm just explaining this to you. Either you're running out of your steps to get to the football, or you're planning with no false movement. Meaning, once your feet hit the ground, there's no false steps. There's no wasted energy. It's boom and go. If you plant and you have to plant again, that's wasted movement. That's false steps. That will slow you from getting to the football. Only thing I'm gonna tell you about Coach Prime, he was a great athlete back then. He didn't need much technique. He was way before his time. He was fast, way faster than everybody. Just a superb athlete back then. You know, ain't no hate, but what he's saying right here, and I play it again. I play this thing with it.
Now, Bucky, you gonna help me? Okay. We're gonna walk backwards, then we're gonna walk forward. Let's walk backwards.
Okay, we're walking backwards.
Now let's stop and walk forward. Why didn't you T-step?
Why
didn't you T-step? Okay, let me show you how stupid that is. Look, I'm going to walk backwards.
Yep.
Then I'm going to walk forward. Who does that?
And then when you're talking about him coaching DBs just because he played, he doesn't even really participate. When do we see him coaching the defense or the DBs? You know, he might say a little something, this and that. This man is obsessed with offense and his son playing quarterback. He's an offensive guy at the moment. So with that being said, what DBs are he teaching? What skills? What leverage? Travis Hunter's out there T-stepping. Travis Hunter's out there putting his foot in the ground and going. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't care how somebody feels about me and things like that, because I stand on what I believe in. And I studied it so I could talk about it. And if you come for me, I have facts about how I believe. Yes, there is no other way to T-step and get to the ball. Yes, you can do something else and be successful, but the best way There's only one best way, and it only makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? But like I say, shout out to Coach Prime, man. Shout out to Coach Prime. Shout out to the Sanders family and Shedeur Sanders, man. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders a little bit, right? Shedeur Sanders, he's receiving all the slack and arrogancy and talking about his arrogant and brash and things like that. Man, listen, man, y'all don't fall for the mess. When you're a high-profile athlete, and obviously you got a high-profile father like Coach Prime and things like that, people are going to say things good and bad. But at the end of the day, it only takes one team to select you. You understand what I'm saying? So what that means is watch out for the first two teams to select him, and all this talk is gone. Everybody's just talking right now, right? Everybody's talking. I don't know who else came out and said it. I think Stephen A. Smith or maybe Mel Kiper said it, right? I always said I think Shedeur Sanders is a better quarterback than Cam Ward. Y'all let me know in the comment who y'all think is better out of Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward. I always said that I thought Shedeur Sanders was better than Cam Ward. Now, on the other hand, I thought Cam Ward did more for his team than Shedeur Sanders did this past season because Cam Ward had less quality players than what Shedeur Sanders said. And of course, they had little talks about it, talking shit and things like that, saying Shedeur Sanders doing a lot of check downs and screen plays, and his athletes did all the work. And yeah, some of that is partly true. But at the end of the day, man, I could see Shedeur Sanders. I don't see if the Titans take Cam Ward at number 1, right? That leave the Browns up. The Browns just gave Myles Garrett all this money. They got Deshaun Watson. Are they still going to believe in Deshaun Watson? I can't see him going past the Browns or the Giants. It'd be hard, man. It'd be hard. Like he said, Shedeur Sanders has showed on multiple occasions that he can come turn organization around. But the one thing I am scared about is him being able to play for a team and not being coached by his dad and still being able to produce the way he did. Because we know if you're a father and you're coaching a team, you're going to set things up for your child. You're going to put your child in the best position that you possibly can, but to be successful. But at the end of the day, man, I'm still stuck on this T-step mess, man. Y'all know I'm the T-step king. Man, we're going to be back at it, man, when I'm going to see y'all again Monday. And we'll see, man, how much more chatter we got going on Twitter, man. And Twitter's going crazy. You got the haters and the young people that don't know football just talking crap. He's the greatest ever. They haven't seen one play from what he did. Yeah, the perception and what people tell us, yes, he's the greatest ever. Yes, you know what I mean? All those great things. I can compare. Let's compare seasons, you know? And yeah, man, but that's enough about that, Coach Prime, man. You know, that was tonight's show, man. Derek Stingley Jr., man, breaking the bank. These cornerbacks making $30 million a year now. Oh my gosh, 10 more years. What is it gonna be? 60 a year? 70 a year? Man, shout out to the NFL, man. NFL's changed a lot of people's lives, a lot of families, man. Just working for the NFL, $1 billion company, man. That's a great organization to be a part of. A lot of benefits, man. So I definitely appreciate the NFL. Much as I talk my shit, hey, I love everything the NFL has done for me and my family, man. And it's Mr. Pick 6. Let me read a couple comments before I get out of there. Money Mike, I love Shedeur Sanders, but I think Cam is more talented than him. Money Mike, do you think Cam is more talented than Shedeur Sanders? Okay. In what ways? Because they both, Money Mike, they both do the same thing, right? As far as running, throwing the ball, and what they present and bring to the table for their team. But I will give that argument to Shedeur Sanders when it comes to accuracy. That's the only thing I say Shedeur Sanders have him. Now, like I said, Cam Ward says he throws a lot of checkdowns and so on and so forth. But I was highly impressed with Shedeur's accuracy. Now, sometimes he holds the ball too long and he gets himself caught up in situations and he has to, take a sack and do something foolish. But Yeah, man, it's a good debate between those two, man. At the end of the day, it's 1 and 2. At the end of the day, it's 1 and 2, man. What we got, man? Yeah, the Shadua hate is ridiculous, man. Yeah, we got to keep supporting them. But who will do better for the team, right? For the team they are drafted to. If Shadua Sanders is drafted number 2 to Cleveland, and Cam Ward is drafted number 1 to Tennessee Titans, right? Let's just say that this scenario. Cam Ward to Tennessee Titans, Shadua Sanders to Cleveland Browns. Who makes it to the playoffs first? Y'all put it in the chat. Y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know who makes it to the playoffs first. And I only can say Cleveland Browns will go first. They got the team already ready to playoff ready. They just a quarterback away. And Shadua Sanders is ready for the big moment. But it's different speeds and it's different levels to this football stuff. So when you get to the NFL, you definitely have to adjust and relate. You can't come in there acting like you know it all of them. Man, that shit'll go right past you so fast, you know what I mean? Cleveland division is brutal. You're right about that. You got Cleveland, you got Pittsburgh, you got Baltimore, then you got Cincinnati. It's brutal. It's definitely brutal. I can't even debate with you on that. I can't even come back and give you some slack on that one, man. Yeah, it's always a toss-up in that division right there. That's the most physical division in the NFL, in my opinion. What is that? The NFC? No, that's the AFC something West or something like that. But yeah, man. Monday Night Vibes. You know, thank y'all for tuning in the show. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Make sure y'all share the channel. Hey, man, we vibing out, baby. Say what needs to be said. See y'all next time.